Welcome to Banquet Breakdown.
I'm Jack.
I'm Sarah.
And we break down fictional relationships so you don't have to.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Banquet Breakdown.
Hello. We're feeling very energetic today.
Well, you are. Speak for yourself.
Yeah. Sarah, what's the sip today?
My sip is a latte, which is why I have lots of energy.
Yeah. I am drinking English breakfast tea with a little bit of sugar and milk.
Yeah.
And it's black tea, which means it's caffeinated, but I have not drank enough of it yet to have it kick in. So.
Okay, drink your sip.
I know. I will. I'll get there. Don't rush me.
We all know how long it takes you to drink a drink.
Yes. Well, very funny.
Oh, man. What are we talking about today?
We are talking about Season 4 of Bridgerton.
Yes.
Season 4, Part 2 came out just this past week, and we weren't really planning on doing an episode about it, but then we were thinking about it, and we were like, you know what? We talked about it right before the Part 1 of Season 4 came out, and we wanted to talk about it again. We were like, you know what? Let's chime in with what we think.
There's too many thoughts not to.
Yeah.
There's too many thoughts not to.
Yeah.
We've already binged it. It's only been out for, well, now I guess it's been out for 2 days.
Yeah.
I binged it the day that it came out.
Yeah, I did as well.
The second part, but yeah. Because, I was ready to talk about it and see what was going to happen.
Yeah, I think after Part 1 especially, so we can talk about Part 1 as well.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the whole Season 4, really, but the way that Part 1 ended off, he had to wait a whole month to figure out what happened. By the time that it actually came out, I was like, I need to know.
I know.
I need to know everything.
I literally got home from work and watched it right away and I made some popcorn. This is 3:00 in the afternoon. I made some popcorn and then just binged it. And it was my show for the day, which I didn't even see. Was it 10 episodes in total?
No,
or
8.
It was only 8. Okay,
yeah, it was 4 and 4.
It was only 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, wait, did I just binge 6 episodes? I hope not.
No, and see, this is where our lives differ because I have a toddler, so I had to wait till his nap time to watch it. And then during his nap, I watched 1 episode, and then he woke up early, and I was so bummed. And thankfully, my husband, once he was done work, he played with our son so that I could sneak in another episode before Hayden had to go to bed. Because if I would have had to wait and watch all 3 of those episodes after my son had gone to bed, I wouldn't have made it through all of them. I would have been too tired. So yeah, I was able to finish it all in one day.
Yeah, I know. Well. Another friend texted me too, and she was like, how did you make it through all of them? And I'm like, well, I have a lot of free time. Also, I have a dog as a kid.
When you're passionate about it, you just need to watch it.
You
need to know what happens.
Yeah. Okay, so thoughts on Part 1, because that came out a while ago. And
yeah, about a month.
Yeah, basically, when we started this podcast, the first episode was talking about Bridgerton, and it had just come out that week.
Well, it was coming out
it was coming out the next day.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to think that it's been a month of this podcast also being out. Yeah. So, but yeah, what were your thoughts of Part 1 in the beginning?
Okay. So we were actually texting a little bit during Part 1 because if you aren't familiar with Bridgerton at all, seasons 1 through 3, we've talked about this in a previous episode, but they focus on one of the different Bridgerton siblings. And the story kind of revolves around the whole family, but each season is focused on one romance between one of the siblings, right? Based on these books by Julia Quinn. And so season 4 is Benedict Bridgerton's season. And in the first episode, the book is kind of like a Cinderella story vibe. So that's what Part 1 was giving us, right? He meets this mysterious woman at a masquerade ball.
Yeah.
At his mom's masquerade ball. Mm-hmm. And that's how the season starts. The very first episode is this masquerade ball. And he falls for this woman that he just meets and is totally enthralled by her because she's so different from all these other women that he's met. But then she runs off, and it's very Cinderella-esque. You find out that she's a maid. And he then starts his search for this woman who doesn't really exist, because she sneaks into this ball because she was born of a noble, her father was a noble, but her mother was a mistress.
She's an illegitimate child, and she then becomes known as the ward of the nobleman, which is kind of a way for him to cover up that she's actually his daughter.
But also keep her in society.
Yes.
Which is what the father's plan was for her. But then her dad passes. You find this out, I think, in episode 2. Mm-hmm. Her father passes when she was younger, and her stepmom has 2 daughters. And although the dad's plan was to kind of keep her in society, call her a ward so that she could still maybe, like, be a part of different things, the mother tells her that he left nothing for her in his will. Yeah. And she never questions this, which is interesting for one. But
well, she's so young though,
I know,
too.
Yeah, she was very young. But then she tells her, "You will be a maid for me, and that's how you will earn your keep at the house." She doesn't pay her. Yeah. And this stepmom is just awful.
So mean.
Like, honestly, way worse than Cinderella's stepmom in some way. I mean, they're very similar, but, like, just nasty. Just a nasty woman.
Yep. Some of the things that she does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cinderella vibes, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I have not read the books. And as soon as we started getting into Cinderella vibes, I was like, really? Been there, done that. I do love the Cinderella, like, story, but it's just, there's so many things that are done, which I do like it, but I just was like, what, Bridgerton? And I didn't realize that the books have been around for quite a while, but I just didn't realize that it was a Cinderella type story. And I remember messaging you and just being like, this is giving Cinderella vibes. Yeah. And you were like, I love it. And I was like, this is too much for me.
I love a good Cinderella story. I honestly, any variation of it, I would watch. Yeah. And when it started, I was kind of nervous about the pairing of them, to be honest. Mostly just because I couldn't see Benedict's character really with anyone. Like, I just couldn't...
Yeah, I couldn't picture him with somebody.
I couldn't picture him actually wanting to settle down with anyone. But what I really enjoyed, especially about part 1, is so eventually the stepmom finds out that she snuck into this ball. Yeah. And she kicks her out and says, like, you're on your own. So she goes and works in the cottage, in a cottage out in the country. Yeah. And Benedict happens to be at this party. This whole thing happens where then she gets fired. And it's kind of his fault because he saved her from a guy who was trying to take advantage of her friend. And then they go on this journey together where she ends up saving him. They end up at his cottage. Yeah. And they stay there for a while until he can recover from this injury. And he falls for her as Sophie and not this, like, lady in silver that he meets at this ball. And doesn't know that she's the same person. Yes. Like, has no idea.
And all of the memes. I think this was a fave of the week. I don't think you guys are going to hear my fave of the week. It's coming in a future episode. But the memes that were coming out just got me. Like, I was, like, just cackling so hard. All of these memes of people drawing, like, just complete eye masks or whatever over Benedict and, like, just being like, come on, dude. You're looking around the ton for everybody, and then she's right in front of you and you can't tell who she is.
And I think it really just is that class blindness, though, to a certain extent, right? Where in his mind, the lady who was at the ball was a proper lady, right? Yeah. So couldn't have been a maid. So then he meets Sophie, and although he's drawn to her and likes her and ends up falling for her, in his mind he can't correlate that it even could possibly be someone he might have met before, right? Yeah. Which is funny. Yeah.
And then, part 1 ends, the last episode...
with an offer from a gentleman.
With an offer. Again, the memes from all these. With an offer for her to be his mistress. Yeah. And, oh man, just gag right there.
Well, and I think, too, like, you can just see the light leave her eyes.
Yes!
She acted this so well, first of all.
She did.
But then you just watch the light leave her eyes, because when you know her backstory, that her mom was a mistress, and she was born illegitimate, and it's affected her life so negatively, like, to be asked that, she was just shocked and appalled, I think. Like,
I think we all were.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
I think everybody just jaw on the floor, just being like, what are you doing, Benedict?
Well, he has this monologue where he's like, I want to give you something better for your life, and you deserve the best, and then be my mistress.
Oh, my word.
Yeah, it's bad. It was bad.
So we were all waiting desperately for part 2 to see what was going to happen, and obviously Sophie, it kind of put her in this, like, reality check of, like, nope, this is not what I want for my life.
Yeah.
And she does a very good job of, like, acting in this way of, no, like, we need to separate and we need to have these boundaries. Also, I think before that, we missed a part, but she ends up going and working at the Bridgerton house. So Benedict helps her to get a job at Bridgerton house, and she ends up working there. But then that's hard for her because Benedict is there, and
he's staying around because she's there and he likes her. Because he has his bachelor lodgings that he's not staying at anymore now that she's working at the house.
Coincidence.
Not.
So, yeah, I think he's definitely taken with her, but she's trying to put that distance and just remind him, like, no, this is, like, this can't happen.
Well, and when they're at the cottage, too, like, she's not really enforcing that as much. I think she is kind of having those, like, genuine conversations with him, and they end up kissing a couple times, and there's these things that happen. But then once they're back kind of in the real world, she's in her maid's uniform, right? Like, I think it snaps her back to reality, and she's just like, this can't work. Like, I can't be with you. I don't want to be a mistress. Yeah. And she says, I think at one point even, like, if I'm a maid, at least I have an honorable, respectable position.
Yes.
Like, I'm not going to be looked at as some awful, right?
And especially a maid at some of the houses, like, for her to have, because I think in the second part, she then also asks for a reference from Bridgerton House. And Bridgerton House is a very respected name. Yeah. So for her to have that, like, that adds to her value as a maid, but value in society as well, because she's able to kind of keep that just that respect as a maid and for her status.
Yeah, like, she can get a good position at a good, well-paying house, right? If she is a respected person, right? Yeah. And Benedict wanted to ruin all of that, not understanding what was actually going to happen. And this is where, you know, that class difference between them. What I loved about this, and what's different from other kind of Cinderella story vibes, is I think in other Cinderella stories, it's like a prince or someone who can, like, just disobey all the rules and it doesn't matter. Right. And so then when he chooses to be with her at the end, it's like, oh, who cares? I'm royalty and I can do whatever I want. Well, in this case, Benedict is not really anyone. Like, he's a nobleman, right? He's still of nobility, but he has no title officially because that belongs to his brother. He's a second-born,
and that was brought up quite a bit in this second part, was that you're just a second-born. You're not... Yes, he's acting for Antony while Antony's away, but he doesn't actually carry the title of Bridgerton.
And he makes a comment as well saying, like, I'm not even the backup anymore because Antony now has a son. Yeah. So... that's the heir for the Bridgerton name, right? So Benedict really is kind of having this identity crisis, which also makes all of this so much harder because he doesn't want to leave society and just sweep her off her feet and get married and leave because he wants to be a part of it, right? But he also loves her and wants to be with her, but there's no way for that to happen because he's not someone who can just bend all the rules without there being any consequences, right? This decision would affect his entire family. Yeah. And I like how they played that out, though, because I think both of them had this massive internal struggle of, like, yes, we like each other, but that's not really enough in this circumstance.
Yeah, especially for this time in this era. Like, it does matter in a lot of sense of who you marry and who you end up with, what your status is. And I think they do a good job of explaining that. Like, Violet Bridgerton, his mom, ends up having a conversation with him saying, like, this is what would happen. Like, this is the reality check. And honestly, we can come back to this, but Violet Bridgerton, The star of the show. Yes. Star of the show. Round of applause.
Yes.
She was
seriously.
so good in this season.
Yeah.
She was the best part for me.
Mm-hmm.
I really, we'll get into opinions after, but she has this conversation with him saying like, hey, just so you know, this is the reality of what would actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to go to the countryside. Your family would not be able to visit you for at least the first few years.
Yeah.
You would have to live a life outside. She's like not necessarily cutting him off and not shunning him, but...
And she actually says, like, I would support you.
Yeah.
But that has to look this way because of society's norms, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And also because she still has 2 more kids that have to be married off into society. That's her job as
and
mom.
And if there's this big scandal and they're tied to it in any way, then it's going to reflect badly on her other younger kids' chances of getting married. Yeah. And she still has 3 unmarried kids, right? With Eloise as well.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yes.
So.
That's right. But she's declared herself a spinster, so.
Yeah. Well, no. Is it 4 unmarried kids? Well, at the time it's 4, I guess, because Benedict is...
Right.
Married.
Yes.
No, there's 8 kids. Who are we forgetting?
Well,
oh,
Francesca...
no, never mind. Right, because she's married.
Yeah, she's married. Yeah.
Right.
Well, and that's the thing is that the last 2 seasons, it's been interesting because it's not just about one Bridgerton, because Eloise is kind of in the background, and then Francesca, like, in the previous season, she did get married as well as Penelope and Colin, right? Yeah. So her story's kind of woven in there too, but...
Yeah. And that's technically, I think they did that partially to just follow along with the books, because each sibling gets their own book, and in Francesca's book, she was married, but then her husband passes, and a spoiler alert, if you haven't watched part 2 yet, John dies.
Yeah.
Francesca's husband dies.
Yeah.
In this very tragic
And I
way.
wasn't expecting, like, I knew that was going to happen, because I've seen kind of the differences between the books and the TV shows, so I saw that spoiler anyways, that her husband dies, but I didn't realize that they were going to put that in for this part of the season. Like,
yeah, I was like, it coming.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I did.
I thought it was building up to next season and going to happen, like, right away in next season, but I wasn't expecting it for this part, so I was like, oh, okay. And it's very different. Her whole story is very, very different than the books.
Yeah, but, for the most part,
Yeah, well, because he dies, I'm pretty sure he dies going out to sea and, like...
the way he dies is different.
But even just their relationship, because also his cousin, it's his brother, not a cousin.
Yeah, like lots of the bits and pieces are different. Yeah. But the core of like the experience is similar, right? With her not being able to have kids. And...
Kind of. Have you seen some differences?
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it feels bigger than what they've done in the show.
Well, probably, but like the feel of the story is still the same. They're not drastically changing like the key parts, is what I'm saying.
I don't know. Because I have one friend that read the books and she was like, "This is so different."
There's lots of discourse on that online though, because some people will say like, because some people are even mad that they're making now instead of a female. Or instead of a male, her love interest is now a female, right? Yeah. So lots of people have stuff to say on that as well. And like, yes, that does change the story. Yeah. Right? But I think from what I had read, especially like the kind of issue she has with Michael in the book, while her and John are married, like, I think they portrayed that well.
Oh, okay.
In this season.
I wasn't talking about that though. But like, I mean, as a whole, like, there are pretty different changes that they've done for the show, but you have to do that. All of them, though. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but you have to do that as like when you're talking about a book, you can't do it. Book to TV is never going to happen. And especially
considering they're only doing 8 episodes per season, like that's. I mean, I saw something recently that was like, why did we used to get 22 episode seasons every year, even if it was like longer episodes, right? Like a Gilmore Girls or whatever. Yeah. They were releasing a 22 episode season every year. Yeah. And now we're getting one 8 episode season every 2 to 3 years. Like, it feels really strange. And it doesn't feel like you get to flesh out the story enough. Like, that's honestly one thing I've just always felt with the Bridgerton seasons is there's so much going on in the background, and you can tell they're skipping a lot. Yes. And so then you get to the end and you're like, that was kind of a whirlwind.
Yeah. Yeah. But, well, and I guess that's where, like, for me, like for Eloise and Francesca, because they get their own books, they're not getting their own season per se. Like they're stringing along those characters throughout.
And I think that's
and
why
you have to be
like they're
paying
trying
attention.
to set up the story for like when they get their own season, but they can't include like everything that would happen in the book because it doesn't make sense with the timeline of the show. Yeah. Because you have to include some of those other things.
Yeah, and you kind of have to have a timeline and stuff to follow. But there's changes and stuff, and that's, you see those things in the background, and that's a big part of part 2 is the funeral and the death of her husband, and then seeing them grieve, and Violet's trying to figure out her relationship and stuff too. Let's talk about some thoughts. I know we haven't quite summed up the end, but let's talk about some thoughts first about the different relationships. So did you like going from part 1 to part 2, did you like some of, like, how did you feel about Benedict and Sophie? Did you like that? What, like, I don't know. What were your thoughts about them?
I did like them together.
Okay.
Yeah, I really did. I think after, I was hesitant before watching, but I think after even just the first episode, seeing how they interacted, I really liked them together from the start. And I was rooting for them. I mean, obviously frustrated with Benedict for, being, first of all, super blind, but also being like, be my mistress, instead of just being willing to marry her even at that point is frustrating. But I liked their relationship. I liked them together. And I liked how they ended it. Like, I mean, kind of was, again, it was a whirlwind. The last episode was like, how is all this going to work together? Yeah. Because the second last episode ends with Sophie actually going to prison. Yeah. Because her stepmother. Her
stepmom. Says that she stole something. She ends up going to prison.
She's claiming all these crazy things.
And there's one more episode left to tie it all together. Yeah, and you're like,
okay, so they need to somehow get her out of prison, and also they need to get together, because they're not together yet. Yeah. Like, they want to be together. Like, Benedict wants to be with her. He finally decides,
he finally figures it out as well, that she is the woman from the ball. Yep. Yeah. So you liked them together.
I did.
Okay, yeah.
You didn't?
Nope. Sophie deserves better.
Really?
I really don't like Benedict. This is my thought. Like, if you meet a Bridgerton, run away.
Oh my goodness. I do not agree.
I thought going into this that I would like Benedict more than Colin and Anthony. I really didn't. He's a snob. And Sophie deserves better. I really think that he, like you had said, he's kind of like blind to class. And I think that through this whole season, I can just see that he is just so privileged. Like, there's just so much privilege there that he's grown up with that I just could not get past that in some of his actions. And I'm just like, man, like, I don't think that he knows what it's like at all in the real world. And
but none of them would have.
Oh, I know. But as a whole, like, even how he treats Sophie compared to Anthony and Colin, and how they treat their wives now. Yeah. And, like, they've done some growing up and stuff, but I don't know. Benedict I did not like him. And I was like, Sophie could do so much better. Like, what is she doing with this guy?
I didn't love him going into this season just because, I mean, yes, he had that, like, free-spirited vibe, and it really had nothing to do with even the fact that he was kind of, like, he wanted to be with men and women, right? He was exploring that. It had nothing to do with that for me. It was mostly just this, like, he had this non-committal, I don't care attitude about everything. And in previous seasons, like, he couldn't even finish a painting. Like, he was so, like, all over the place, didn't know what he wanted to do, and so directionless, which is interesting because even as a second brother, like, he should have had some responsibility in the family and some stuff. And then, so what happens at the end of the last season too is that Anthony and Kate go off to have their baby in India, and so then Benedict has to take over a bunch of the family duties, and, like, this is not what he's suited for, first of all. No. But he also just, like, doesn't handle it that well. Yeah. And
he's not organized.
No, and this is just like a frustration I've had with him throughout the rest of this series, but I actually found that this season made me like him more.
Really? So you felt that changed?
Yes.
I still felt like at the end of season 2, or at the end of this season, part 2. Yeah. I still felt like there was no change. And I'm like, what the heck? There was no character growth for me.
Interesting.
But, yeah.
No, I didn't feel that way.
Interesting.
I actually ended this season thinking it might be my new favorite.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And not just because of Benedict and Sophie, although I did love them together as well, but so many of the other parts of the story, like even some of the stuff with the Queen and Lady Danbury and stuff like that. Like that was...
Yeah.
You've watched Queen Charlotte too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Watching their relationship, like that part where she finally gives her permission to leave as well, like that part, I was in tears.
Oh, yeah.
I literally cried for like 80% of part 2, I'm pretty sure. I was just sitting there crying.
Loved this. Yes, I loved all of the background stories. If Benedict wasn't in it, I would have loved it even more.
That's so funny. No, I really liked Benedict in this season. And yes, like he doesn't treat Sophie that well at certain times, but I think what I liked about their dynamic was that she wasn't afraid to call him out on that. Because he's had plenty of people in his life who would have never done that, right? And even Mr. Mondrich as well has this moment where he's like, no woman wants to be asked that. No woman wants to be hidden. Like, you can't just do that and expect, like, regardless of her class, regardless of her rank, that's not a fair question to ask. So he has these people in his life who can keep him in check. And I do think, for me anyway, I liked his growth throughout the season. I thought that he did go from kind of being, like, stuck with those societal pressures and wanting to just fit in and do whatever, to then being like, I am going to be open to being with Sophie, even if that doesn't look how I want it to, right? And in the end, it kind of works out that they can stay together in society, which is kind of a crazy ending. But I think he had gotten to a point where he was like, even if we have to be secluded from society forever, I'm okay with this now.
Yes. I did like that he finally got to that point. Like, he was okay with that outcome. And then ultimately they don't have to, because at the end of the day, they get the Queen's approval, and the Queen recognizes her for her father's name, and recognizes her because then she has a dowry and all of this, and they find the will. And I think that, you know, even what I liked is that they did show that Benedict came to the conclusion before finding that out, and he was willing to put that on the line, because otherwise that would have made him look really bad. Even worse. But I don't know, I still didn't, he just irked me, I think. But
is it just like him in a relationship though, or did he irk you with his relationship to his family members as well? Because
I think it was everything. I think it's just his lack of care, and he's just kind of, I think it's just, he seems to be very entitled with no care to what his name does. Like, he's just letting the Bridgerton name speak for itself. I think kind of like what we talked about, he doesn't have a title, right? He's the second born. And that means he doesn't really have that. He's just floating off of, I'm a Bridgerton. And I feel like that kind of attitude, it floats through the relationship with his family, how he treats people in his family. I like him and Eloise, but like they kind of understand each other, I think. Like he's trying to find himself. I just didn't see enough growth for him to then be in a relationship, or even like it felt like he was finally at the end just starting to understand, but I still don't think he understands reality of
see, that's where I think I disagree though, because I think even with his interactions with his family, I think he showed a lot of growth throughout the season, because even in the previous season he wanted nothing to do with his family. Like he was just off chasing his own dreams, chasing his own desires, whatever it might have been. But this season, like even his relationship with Hyacinth and being at her, you know, recital and dancing with her and having these really sweet moments, and then even with Gregory giving him some like brotherly advice and stuff like that, I think that even was showing growth, because in previous seasons, really the only sibling he's been interested in talking to was Eloise or Antony. At various points, like Antony, but that was mostly like a little bit Antony wanting that relationship with his brother, right? But I think throughout this season, what I saw and thought was that he did grow a lot in those relationships with his family, and even with his mom. Like they had that really tender moment with when he kind of finally was saying like, I love this woman and stuff, and she told him like, I see a lot of myself in you. Like Antony is totally your dad, but you are me. Like I was free-spirited like you. And then he kind of brings that side of her back out too, which I thought was really sweet. And she even says at the end, she's like, I'm realizing, because she has this love interest as well, with Laura Anderson.
I love Violet in that
yeah.
spot. Yeah.
And they kind of get engaged but are keeping it secret. Mm-hmm. And then they end up breaking it off because she kind of realizes, like, I think I want to be by myself and just be like a carefree mm-hmm. person again. And I think that's Benedict mm-hmm. showing her that that's even possible, right? Mm-hmm. Reminding her of who she used to be. So I think, you know, maybe the maturity's still not there, but I feel like most Regency era men are just kind of like lacking a bit, to be honest. Yeah. But I thought, especially with his family, I saw a lot of growth.
Yeah. I think I still saw so much entitlement in, like, even just how he talks to the doctor when, like, they're with Francesca or whatever, and he's just like, give me this now. Like, that was kind of the approach, and I don't know if he has enough, like, he just hasn't proved himself to me to be somebody who understands reality of, like, how the real world works. Whereas Anthony was, like, so much in that, and yes, he had his party moments and whatever, but he was very responsible and showed that, and I just didn't see enough of that to convince me. I don't know. Like, there were parts, but...
Well, even that moment you mentioned with Francesca, like, when I watched that, I was seeing a brother actually standing up for his sister.
Yeah, I was not convinced. I was like, no, privilege.
I didn't see it that way, because I think for him, in that moment, like, I don't know if he was trying to demand something just because he was, like, privileged. I think he was really seeing his sister just distressed about this. Mm-hmm. She just lost someone, and he's sitting there going,
I know.
Why is this the way that it works? He's getting frustrated with those societal norms, right? He's saying, like, this is ridiculous. Like, give her some time.
I think that's what it is it's like he's overly passionate and not taking a step back and being responsible. He's letting his emotions come out in every situation. Yeah. And then to me, that just makes me see immaturity in him.
But maybe that says more about you.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I just didn't like his character.
That's so funny.
Didn't like it.
I feel like that's not a common experience, though, because a lot of what I've been seeing online is people just being like, we love them.
I know, but I think people like that over-the-top, romantic, passionate, whatever. And to me, I'm just like, no. It just... I don't know. But that's also been... Like, I've watched Bridgerton. I came to it later. I've always felt that in each season about it. And now going back, I'm like, okay, Anthony's okay. Going back, I'm like, Colin, I don't know. But so maybe I'll come back to it and be like, okay, Benedict's not so bad. But every season when I've watched it first, I'm just like, I just get so frustrated. Because I'm like, no. Also because it doesn't reflect Regency era. Like, it's not... Yeah. It's meant to be modern, right? Yeah. That's the whole point of it. And I think because growing up with watching all of those Regency era things, like movies and TV shows, like, I just love that era. And I think sometimes I'm just like, no, that's not how you would act. You would be responsible. You would be sensible. Like, I don't know. But anyways, I loved... that scene with Violet and her talking to Benedict. I focused more on Violet in that scene, and I was like, wow. Like, even just how she was being a mom to him, like, a lot of the things that she was saying to him, I was like, like, she's pulling him back to to reality and helping him to see, like... helping him to see parts of himself that are good and parts of himself to grow on and all of that. So I did really like her.
See, this is funny too, because I loved Violet in this season, and I really appreciated that moment, but it also made me realize how I think she's biased toward her sons, because she, like, with that conversation with Benedict, she was so, like, straightforward and so, like, passionate, and it really did help him, like, kind of come down a bit and be like, okay, I'm hearing what you're saying. But with her relationship with her daughters, she is lacking big time. Even the way that she tries to help Francesca mourn. Like, they have this awesome moment, too, where Francesca literally goes, like, you're going to tell me you understand, and you don't. Like, you don't understand. You have 8 pieces of your husband and all of your children to love. You don't get what I'm going through. And I think Violet's actually taken aback by this because she's like, whoa. Yeah. Like, I thought I could relate to you in this, and I guess maybe I can. Like, I think with her daughters, I think there's just, like, something there. Because even how she talked to Daphne in season 1.
And she doesn't understand Eloise at all either. Like,
I think she has a bit of a bias toward her sons.
Yeah.
The way she parents her sons, like, she's so firm, she's so honest, she's so upfront, and I think it's exactly what they all need. But the way she approaches her daughters is just like, she misses the mark. Yeah.
Well, I think maybe because for her, we don't really know. We see a little bit of her in Queen Charlotte as a kid. Yeah. But, I mean, for her, like, coming out party and, you know, her season, I'm very curious what she would have been like. Yeah. And I wonder if she embraced it all because she wanted the attention, or I don't know, like maybe she embraced it, and because she does have that passion that Benedict does, and maybe seeing her daughters being a little bit more apprehensive to it, like, because even Daphne was apprehensive to it too, like, she was ready because she knew, okay, I'm, you know, firstborn daughter, I've got to go. Yeah. But I think there was, like, some nerves and stuff there, too. So I wonder if maybe because she sees that, she's like, I just don't understand. Like, this is what you're supposed to do. Just go and do it.
Well, and none of, like, I mean, Eloise kind of has that, it's not necessarily carefree spirit, but it's definitely that more, like, passionate spirit. And I feel like all of her other daughters are very, like...
Yeah, very quiet.
Level-minded.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she knows how to relate to that. Whereas all the Bridgerton boys are hot-headed and ridiculous. And I feel like she's like, I know what to do with this. I'm going to handle this. But all of the women are like, no, we're okay. But then I think she neglects them a bit. Because even, you know, Francesca running around asking what a pinnacle is, like, that was on Violet to teach her that. Yeah.
And even still, she cannot have that conversation.
And that's the thing. Yeah. She's like, I really messed this up with Daphne, but I'm really not going to give you anything. So here you go. Bye. That moment was so frustrating. I was like, what are you doing?
Oh, man. Yeah. But, I would agree that her and her daughters, not necessarily good relationships, but how she parents and for her sons. Yeah. You can see it. Yeah. Also, the Queen and Lady Danbury, however you want to say that, their relationship was really sweet because of having that background in Queen Charlotte too. Like, you really get to see, the tension, and the Queen doesn't want to let her go. And doesn't like change.
When she asked, like, can I leave? I knew the Queen was just gonna be like, nope,
of course not.
You can't.
And same for Whistledown. Nope. Yeah. Like, nope. Yep. And she has her way, and she's used to getting her way. But I loved those conversations in between too, and seeing that, because you do really feel for the Queen as well, and you feel for what she's going through, because things are changing and things have to change, and you feel for her losing that relationship. So and I think for her, I saw this one post that was like, I think Queen Charlotte is the loneliest character in Bridgerton, and I mean, she has no one to share the throne with, because although King George is still alive, he's not well, right? And she just has to bear all that weight on herself. And I think with Lady Danbury, she has a bit of reprieve from that. Right. Like, it's like, this is a genuine friendship. Yeah. That was formed still when she was queen, but not in the same way that, you know, like, she has these ladies' maids. She doesn't care about any of them. No. Which is why I love that Lady Danbury got, like, Mrs. Mondrich to come and be lady-in-waiting, even though she didn't want to be. Yes. And Queen Charlotte didn't really want her to be either. I loved how they kind of wove that storyline into things, and then when the way that they end it, really Mrs. Mondrich is the star of the show, because she's the reason that Benedict and Sophie get to be together, because she comes up with this plan to be like, I'm going to get the Queen on board with this, and I'm going to do this my way. It could either get me, like, kicked out of society or in the Queen's good graces. And for that reason, she doesn't really care, because it's her son's name, technically, that is why they're in society in the first place. So she kind of feels like she has nothing to lose, which I think is a really good combination for then the friendship with the Queen, because she can kind of be that new Lady Danbury for
and she's so I don't know if we talked about this the first time we talked about Bridgerton, but the Mondrich family, they find out that their son is the only Kent heir, which is like her great aunt or something. And so her great aunt passed and left everything to their son. Yeah. So they are not part of the nobility at the start of the show. Yeah. He's a boxer, and they just have this, like, tiny family home, and they're, like, very, like, probably not lower class, but like middle class,
Yeah,
right?
middle class, yeah.
And, definitely not part of the higher-ups, but then they get placed in this position, I think in season 3.
Yeah, it happens in season 3, yeah.
Yeah, and then they're kind of getting used to what life is like now.
Going to all these balls, and they're trying to, figure out what life looks like as upper class citizens.
Yeah, because he started, like, he had a gentleman's club, and he struggles with, like, figuring out, do I keep this or do I get rid of it? And everyone's like, you shouldn't be working if you're part of the nobility, but he's, like, a prideful man, right? He built this for himself. He's like, I want this to continue, but I like, so many people are like, oh, I'm so over their storyline. I was like, I love them. I
like their storyline. Yeah. And I like how I wasn't quite sure where they were going to go with it in the first part of this season, but I liked how it kind of, you could see, okay, I like this.
Yeah, I also love, like, what she does with the queen at the end, and you can tell the queen was just, that laugh that she had at the end was so...
She enjoyed herself, and she's like, okay, we can have some fun.
Yeah. And I think at that moment she kind of realized, okay, Lady Danbury, I see where you were going with this one. Like, I understand why you chose her to be my lady-in-waiting, because she's gonna liven this up a bit. Yeah. She's not just gonna do everything I tell her to.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. It was, overall, I really enjoyed how it ended. And that little end credit scene. Yeah. Like, that was so cute. It was really cute. Having, the characters, it tied it up nicely. And I was a little bit like, what? Like, they didn't, when it first ended. And I was like, what the heck? Like, they're not showing anything else. Like, I guess, Kate, now we've got to wait or whatever. Yeah. But then you see they finally do get married. And you kind of put together those pieces. So
one other thing I loved, though, too, about even that end scene, but just in general, was Posey.
Yes.
Posey was so sweet. And Posey is her stepsister. Well, I guess they wouldn't have really, like, called her that because
but
mom was
technically.
In denial. But yeah, the Lady Penwood's daughters, Posey is one of them, and Posey and Sophie have a really good relationship. Yeah. Even despite Sophie being treated as a maid for most of her life. But yeah, Posey ends up marrying this guy that she finds that her mom probably didn't approve of, but she was she has this conversation with Eloise where she's like, you don't have to do what your mom says, it's okay. And it's so sweet, and I loved Posey. I just was like, she's so sweet.
I really liked her character too, especially when she sneaks out too, and then they're all looking like they're like waiting for her.
That was so funny. And they like had set it up because they're like, oh, we want to follow her, and she just snuck out. It was so good.
Oh, man. Yeah, her character. I felt like it got significantly better in the second half, and I was really enjoying it overall. Like, all of the little storylines and stuff, too. Yeah. But, yeah.
I also thought the depth of the emotion this season was a lot more intense, which I appreciated. Because I think, like, especially season 3, I just didn't feel like it had that depth necessarily. Yeah. There wasn't enough going on. Like, I mean, Penelope had a lot with wrestling with, like, do I keep being Lady Whistledown, or do I, put that part of my life aside, but there wasn't a lot of like background stuff. Like, there was storylines being introduced, but I don't know, it wasn't, the background stories weren't as strong in season 3, but I feel like in this season
they were very strong.
They really were,
which is I think what made it good. I think one thing, like, I'm just gonna be known as like a Bridgerton hater, but I don't understand, because like the whole thing with Lady Whistledown, like, that was what drew people into the show, because there's this gossip or whatever. And again, I have not read the books, just heard from a very passionate friend of mine. But I feel like, because in season 3, now Whistledown, we know who she is, and everybody else knows too, that element, it kind of, like, I was kind of like, man, like, what is the show without Whistledown and the gossip and everybody, like, worried about the gossip? Because that was the big thing in season 1 and 2, is people worried about, okay, what is Whistledown going to say? Yeah. And it was interesting to me that then now it's gone. Like,
well, not really,
I know, but
like, Penelope's no longer Whistledown, but at the very end of the season, like,
they say someone
else releases a Lady Whistledown.
But that was an interesting part of like season 4, because I was like, oh, you're kind of missing that element of people worried, okay, what is Whistledown going to say? And I don't know. That was just one thing where I was like, this show has changed a lot.
Yeah.
The story has changed a lot, because I guess maybe it would make more sense through the books, but
I would need to be fact-checked on this, but I think someone I had seen online, like, Whistledown does end up changing to someone else in the books as well, so maybe I'm not right on that, but I did see that somewhere. Not everything you see online is true, though, so.
Thank goodness.
Okay, the one thing I want to mention, because we're kind of, like, getting close to our time here, but one of my favorite memes that I saw, because we were talking about the memes, was the single brain cell that the Bridgerton siblings pass around from season to season, and it was like their worst moments in a line, and I can't remember what they all were, but Benedict's was "Be My Mistress," and I was just dying laughing, because then every time while I was watching part 2, my husband was kind of in and out while I was watching this. He probably likes it more than he would admit to anyone. He'll edit this out if he disagrees, but he was watching here and there, and we would just make jokes, like, every time Benedict would say something stupid, we'd be like, oh, there's that one brain cell. Or if, like, one of the brothers did anything, we were just like, well, the brain cell's not with them right now. It was so funny. We just kept going with that one. It was goodness.
I stand by what I said. If you meet anybody with the last name Bridgerton, run for the hills, okay? Red flag.
Yeah. Except the women.
Well,
I feel like maybe the women aren't so bad. You don't agree?
No.
Why? Oh,
they all have issues.
But we've only had one female Bridgerton season, so maybe you need a little bit more.
It's true. Yes.
Yeah, we've had 3 men.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Francesca's been throughout. Eloise has been through it. I feel like we kind of know them, you know.
But we don't know how they'll be in a relationship, because you don't like Benedict even more now, seeing him in a relationship. Maybe some of the Bridgerton women you'll like more after their season. Maybe.
Yeah. There's always room for hope. Okay, so but funny. I will say, one Bridgerton that I do have a little bit more hope for than the others is Hyacinth.
Oh, really?
Pronounce her name? Yeah. Yes. Okay, that whole scene, this is what I wanted to text you, but then I was I didn't know where you were. But the junior ball, that was so cute. Okay, it wasn't called that. It was the recital.
Yeah.
But they kept talking about, like, this dance recital, and I was like, what are they talking about? Like, and I didn't like have this picture of what it would be, and then all of a sudden you get there, and it's basically all of the kids under 16 that then are putting on this little ball to show their dancing skills, really, and it was so cute because it basically was like this junior Bridgerton, and that was cute. I would see that.
I also loved how Hyacinth was like, I'll know he's into me if he gets me lemonade. And she dances with this guy, and she's like, oh, I'm so parched after that dance. I think I need a refreshment. He's like, I'll go get some lemonade. He goes, grabs one, chugs it for himself, puts it down, and walks away, and she's standing there like, poor Hyacinth.
Oh man, so her character is pretty funny. I liked her in this.
But also, another like gut wrenching moment for me though was when she was throwing out all her ball gowns after John passes, and she's like, having this moment of being like, I'm giving up. I don't want to do this. And I loved her and Eloise had a moment later on too, where Eloise was like, it's okay to be scared about it, but that doesn't mean you have to give it up. Yeah. That doesn't mean it's not worth it.
Yeah, well, because she mentioned, she's like, I don't want to get married or have this love that then is gone. It's just going to be because she knows so many people that are gone.
And her mom lost her husband. Yeah. Like, there's lots of people in her life that no longer have someone.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
That was a cute little moment. But yeah. Were there any red flags for you? Or
I guess there was red flags, but like I don't know. I just felt like this season, because I actually so between when we talked about this the first time and between part 2 coming out, I did actually rewatch all of it. And I was realizing, I was like, I genuinely really like this show. Like I know it's not necessarily accurate to the Regency era, but I think the modern elements for me make it so much more like relatable, because I think sometimes when I watch Regency era stuff, I'm like, this is not how life has worked for 100 years. Like, I'm like, this is not that relevant anymore. But I think the modern twist that they put in there, like, it feels more, it's almost in my mind like a fantasy kind of setting. Like, I don't think of it as like, this was real life, this was Regency, or because it's not really, to be honest. Like, they've changed so many things about even just the diversity aspect. I love some of those changes that they've made, and just some of like the ways that they've incorporated diversity into the show. Like, I appreciate that so much. But I have just been finding that I genuinely love this show. Like, it might be moving up in my like ranking of like probably in my top 5 shows.
Wow. Yeah. Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Even and like I said, this season, like I still think season 2 is my favorite. And this is okay. I'm gonna rank them quick.
Okay. Give us a ranking.
I don't know if this is gonna be a well-liked ranking. It's hard to rank them, but I think season 2 is still top for me.
Really?
Yes. Huh. And I think that then I would do season 2, and then I think actually, and this is not gonna be a popular opinion, but season 3 and season 4 are tied for me right now. I think I liked them both. So many people hated season 3. Everyone puts it on the bottom of their ranking, and I don't understand because I liked it. I mean, Colin, he was kind of annoying, but it's that single Bridgerton brain cell the brothers have. Like, I mean, he can only do so much. But then, and then like Queen Charlotte, I can't even rank it within these seasons because it's just off on its own, and it's
really liked it.
Really good.
Yeah.
Like, it would be above everything, probably, if I had to put it with the Bridgerton rankings, but it's its own thing, and it's so good. But then I would put season 1 at the bottom. I don't know, the Duke and Daphne, rewatching it even, I was like, I don't get it. She should have been with the prince. It's like, I would have been much happier with that outcome.
What happened to that storyline? Yeah. I don't even know if I can rank them.
You'd put them all at the bottom of a ranking?
Yeah, I think this season
from least favorite
to more least favorite.
To very worst of all time.
Oh man, I do agree. Season 1 was awful, and I think that's why I didn't like, even just from commercials and stuff that I would see of it. That's why I came in so late in the game to when Bridgerton was, based off of when it came out to when I actually started. But yeah, I don't know. I really liked Queen Charlotte. And I think, again, because even when you were talking, I was like, I think I'm going into this because I've read so many books in those eras, and not just movies, but books as well. And I think I'm going into it thinking about the history of it. And Queen Charlotte was, yes, it was still modernized, but I think it was a little bit more closely to it because it was the king, and he's marrying this,
and they were real people that existed.
Yes, exactly. And so I think I saw a little bit more connection to real history than which is maybe why I liked it more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, obviously it's not fantasy, but in my mind it's like, it's not real life, and I'm just seeing it as this like fantastical kind of
I see. But I think season 4 confirmed that I don't like Bridgerton. Which is so funny because we've never been so polar opposite on something so far. So yeah, I know, man.
Yeah, no,
red flag for me, all of it. No, but I there's parts of it that I like. It's not 100% hate. It's just overall.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know. I think red flag. If I had to give someone a red flag, it would definitely be Lady Penwood. I just can't with her. I'm like, no. Why are you hating on a young girl whose father just died?
Yes. Yeah.
Like, especially even in that time, like, even if she just had to pretend she was a ward for the rest of her life, like, what was that to her?
Well, and also, I think what showed her character even more was when she sent her to prison, because she had heard from the maid that Sophie was planning to leave for the Americas.
She could have let it go.
She could have just let it go and let Sophie go away. Yeah. But, which she wouldn't have, because then Benedict would have found her, but blah, blah, blah.
Still, though.
But still,
let it go.
She could have just let it go, but she chose specifically to keep Sophie.
And to go that night to make sure that she was arrested before she left.
Yeah.
Like, just a nasty woman.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's definitely a big red flag.
Yeah. I will say the actress did a really good job, though.
Yeah, she did.
Like,
yeah.
Especially from Harry Potter to this.
There's been so many memes about that, too. Yeah. Yeah. Man. Well, I'm glad we talked about this and it's fresh in our minds, and we had to we had to be part of the talk, the conversation that's going out there. Yeah. Man. It was good.
Yeah. No, I honestly really liked it. I think it's funny that it made you not like it, but very different experiences here.
Very different experiences.
Well, I guess Bridgerton might not be your fave of the week then?
No. Actually, I was going to say, fave of my week has been the memes that are talking about the girls who like both F1 and Bridgerton. Those have been amazing.
Yeah.
Because Bridgerton came out Thursday, and then F1 came out Friday, Drive to Survive. And those memes, those have been making my week.
Yeah.
That's
also,
been my fave.
Fun fact about us, we are F1 fans.
Yes. From Drive to Survive. I can't claim that I watched it before that. I knew that it existed.
Yeah.
But did not pay it any attention until Drive to Survive. But love F1.
My husband got me into F1 because he's a fan, and through Drive to Survive. He was like, watch this, and then that made me enjoy it a lot more. So this past season was the first season I actually watched all the way through of the actual F1 racing season. But that's why I was also really excited for Drive to Survive. This is my favorite of the week, is Drive to Survive. Because after watching the whole season, I was like, I'm so excited to see how they're going to show everything behind the scenes. Even though we've not watched very much of it, Drive to Survive is still my favorite of the week. But I do also love those memes. And it's so funny because I was thinking back to like the Oppenheimer Barbie weekend and whatever, and I was like, this is what this feels like for me. I didn't care about either of those movies. Truly, but having Bridgerton and then Drive to Survive come out back-to-back days, I was like, this is the best!
It's been so relatable to see those because, I was ready to see how the last part of season 4 ended, but then I was also, like, so ready for Drive to Survive, and I was like, man, these memes are so accurate!
And, oh my goodness, like, the ones that are, like, a dramatic season, a new season every year, and different pairings every year. Like, it was so funny, the comparisons that they were making. It was so good.
Oh man!
If you're not an F1 fan, you should be. You're missing lots of drama and
so much drama. Probably seriously. More than Bridgerton.
Honestly,
let's be honest.
If you like Bridgerton, you should watch Drive to Survive.
Even if you don't like Bridgerton, you should watch Drive to Survive.
If you like Regency drama, apparently you should watch Drive to Survive.
Oh man. So much drama. Yes, I've binged most of it. I'm on the last episode.
On Drive to Survive? Oh my goodness. Yeah, you have a lot more time than we do.
Also, it was a snowstorm yesterday.
That's
so
true.
It was like, I got home from work and I was like, you know what? It's, Drive to Survive. That's what I'm doing tonight. So, well, I think that wraps up the Bridgerton episode.
Yes.
And feel free, put it in the comments. Are you Team Jack or are you Team Sarah?
Don't pit us against each other. Did you like the season of Bridgerton or did you not?
Who do you relate to more?
Oh my goodness. You're trying to stir up drama.
I'm not. These are my real opinions.
Yes, we're allowed to have differing opinions, but don't pit us against each other like that.
Well, they can just say, I agree with Sarah.
And you're just expecting everyone to agree with you, aren't you?
No, I know because social media tells me that
it was a well-liked season.
Like it.
Yeah. I've actually seen, there's a handful of people that I follow who are like, I think this might be my new season, and I was watching their content being like, yes.
Yeah.
I don't think it beats out season 2 for me still, but it's close. It's very close. I really liked it. Man.
Well, there we go. We'll have to talk more in depth.
We'll have to go to counseling after this. Couples counseling for podcast hosts.
We disagreed on something.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode.
Please like, share, and subscribe, and feel free to leave us a review.
Share your comments on today's episode.
And join us next time for another episode of Banquet Breakdown.